So why is there such a heavy stigma in a sense with men, asking for relationship help? What's that stigma about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's such a good question. I mean, I think because men think they should already know,
Uh,
and it's
yeah.
really vulnerable to say, like, I don't actually know. Like a lot of, because I work with a lot of men, and people are sometimes surprised about that for some reason. I don't know why. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you work with women, right?" And I'm like, "No, I work with like 50% women, 50% men, actually."
Oh.
And a lot of men come to me and they're like, "I don't know," especially lately. I don't really know how to approach a woman. I don't
Right.
even, some men, I don't even know. I've never had a relationship. I don't even know how to like open that up to possibly get into a relationship with someone. And something a few years ago, from real life, if you want me to share some of my real life stuff, I
Only
went.
if it's juicy.
Hey there, health and wellness fans. Welcome to episode 23 of the YCast podcast that's revolutionizing the way men think about their health and wellness and their life, one conversation at a time. I'm Tony. In the studio today, we are privileged to have Mr. Rob Davidson. How are you, Rob?
How's it going, Tom?
It's going well.
Week going well, month going well.
Yeah.
Year?
I was going to ask you because we haven't had a lot of time to talk,
Yeah.
but are you watching the playoffs?
No.
No. Okay.
I failed. See,
So-
you shouldn't ask me then.
Now we have nothing to
Which
talk about.
playoffs? There's the NHL and then there's
Basketball.
the NBA. No.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. You're not a hockey
I'm more of a
player.
college basketball guy,
Yeah. Well,
Not much NBA.
me too now, but
Yeah.
the Knicks are in.
Oh, yeah, I
playing
know. I
well,
see that.
2-0.
Yeah, I did.
So
see
it's something to root for,
something
I
to look
guess,
for,
right?
Yeah. It's been a long time for the Knicks to actually win a championship. I don't even remember when. Somewhere in the early 90s, I guess, was the last time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's been a while.
But it's nice because you see that they have been making progress over the past decade. Like you see little movements and getting to the playoffs or
Very
just
slow. Yeah.
having winning seasons finally. But who knows?
Hey.
I'm not going to be happy until it actually
They
happens.
say Rome wasn't built in a day.
Correct,
So, take some time, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Rome wasn't built in a day, dating lives are not built in.
That's very true.
In my case, 20 years.
Well, you were very selective, I think.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah.
Well, thankfully,
Mhm.
I'm out of the dating world finally.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a few years. But I guess you could say I do have like some memories that are still there and understanding
That's great.
what men go through, what women go through. Well, the mission here, we're here to help men stay in tune from inside and out.
Yep.
We're talking about the numbers, the blood work, urology, testosterone levels, your mental hurdles, all those things we talk about.
Yeah.
So to be a man in 2026, it requires a lot of resilience, proactive stuff.
Yeah.
We do have a really cool guest back on, Jess Hendricks.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And
one of the fan favorites.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And she's going to kind of guide us through because, her knowledge spans all across the relationship spectrum.
Absolutely.
Dating is one, which is cool.
Yeah.
So want to, hear what she has to say, how we're going to be able to, educate some guys out there and give them a better game.
Yeah. Knowledge is power, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
So Jess Hendricks, well, she has a bachelor's in psychology, master's in occupational therapy, and a certified conscious partnership coach with additional certifications in subconscious reprogramming, trauma therapy, and nervous system healing. Here she is, guys. I'm going to bring her on now.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't do that. Okay. Hey, Jess, how you doing?
Hi.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank
Welcome back.
you. It's so great to be here.
Yeah. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wanted to tell you that, you were such a big hit on our last show.
She was. Yeah.
Aww.
And we've been, like I said, we've been kind of dormant for the past couple months, getting everything started back up. But our first, reaction was we got to get Jess back on.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So we appreciate it. We did talk about relationships last time, and that's on our YouTube channel, so you guys can check that out. I think it was Healthy Relationships was the title.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can check that out. But I want to very quickly just give people a place where they can find you. So jesshendrick.com. That's HENDRICK.com. Instagram, you're at Coach Jess Hendrick, and Facebook, Jess Hendrick. So,
actually, my Instagram's different now.
Darn
it. I should have sent you that, but it's Jess Hendrick Coaching.
Okay, Jess Hendrick Coaching.
Yeah, everything else is correct.
Everything's good. Okay,
good.
Well, give us an update. Tell us a little bit, or add to your illustrious career certifications and whatever. But give us an update where you are, and if you want to throw some personal things in there too, it's always great to see other people fail. I mean, succeed.
No, for sure. I mean, I'd love to, and I had the best time with you guys last time, so I love that the episode resonated with people. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we were saying, before we started recording, that we just have like a natural flow, and I feel like people can feel that energy. So yeah, it's like we're just chatting, and inviting people in.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So I guess like since I saw you last, I'm in a relationship now with someone amazing.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. It was such a journey to get to this point. And but I am someone who has really had a lot, like more experience than I want with the dating world. So hopefully that can be of service to anyone listening.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think we learn from each other, right? So yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Well, on the last show, I think I was asking you, I asked a question like, well, what do you do? And you were very like honest and said, well, I'm not perfect either, Tony. These things happen. And sometimes I have to, tell myself these things over to understand them and put them in practice,
right?
Which I think is very revealing, because if anyone thinks they're perfect out there,
Yeah. I don't think there is any perfect, but
no perfect humans.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
If you're looking for one of those, you're going to have a problem.
Some may purport to be perfect, but they're not,
which is another problem.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You got to weed that out, I think, right?
Then we have another problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear you're doing so well. And I know your business is growing like crazy, because we follow each other on Instagram and the other socials, and I just see you constantly posting, your following's growing. Awesome. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's great.
And you've been a great resource for all of my friends who are failing in the dating world.
Well, hopefully we can turn this around in this episode and help them to win a little bit.
A little bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right in.
We're just
going to fire some questions at you, have a kind of chill conversation, and we'll break down some of the things that you say in your practice, and then some of the things, I guess, like we've dealt with in the past.
Yeah.
Dating and stuff
or
like that.
what I've watched you deal with. Yeah, absolutely.
Crying on your shoulder.
Lots of crying.
So we focus on physical health, blood work, as guys. But how do you define dating health? What is a vital sign for a man's overall well-being in the dating spectrum?
Such a good question, because I think it's all connected, and it starts with how you are within your own self. So if something's off, hormonally or health-wise, or if you're under a lot of stress or pressure, then someone's going to feel that when you're dating them. So, it goes back to the old, like we think we have to go out there to try to find an answer, find a girlfriend or whatever, but it's like, it starts here. And then when we're taking care of ourselves, mind, body, spirit, then you're just naturally more attractive.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. I think you can feel that energy. You can see that energy. No question about it.
Yeah.
Well, especially women. Women have this seventh sense.
Yes.
8 sense.
With all that.
Yeah, absolutely. They do.
Yeah.
I think with the one big thing is like when women say like have confidence. Well, and we're going to talk about this later, but that's a main thing, because they can tell. As soon as a man walks in a room,
they can tell if
we're all just having fun and enjoying and dancing. And way later on in the day, one of the guys came up to me and he was like, "Oh, I noticed you right away." And I had no idea. And I was like, I had no idea. Like, why wouldn't you just like come say hi? And he said, "Oh, because I didn't want to be creepy." So like this is what I hear sometimes is like, "Oh, I don't want to be creepy." So I think there's a lot of mixed messages too now. And so it's like, well, what do we even do? Like, what do men even do? They don't know, because there's all these mixed messages. So it's
society's created that. Yeah, no question.
Yeah, society's created that with like, I hate to say it, but like the feminist movement like wasn't really helpful actually
Right,
for this.
right.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
So-
that's true.
And if you think about it, if there are 10 women in a room that say, okay, 9 of them say, no, it's not creepy. And that one woman says it's creepy.
yeah, it's creepy then.
It's creepy.
In a sense, society
yeah.
would deem it
any
creepy.
man
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a sensible,
yeah.
Outlook would say,
yeah,
yeah, it's creepy. I better
yeah.
tune that down.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's kind of scary then. Huh? Yeah.
It totally, because you don't want to be the
Yeah.
creepy guy.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So rather not approach the woman than be the creepy guy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, how did
Yeah.
you deal with that, Tony? Being the creepy guy. Just like you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had a good self-awareness. I've always had good self-awareness about myself.
Yeah.
I always look and really the details of what guys do and what they say on social media and how they interact with women. And I always say to myself, don't do that.
Do the opposite.
Yeah. And it's I've always been very conscious about what I say and how I act, because I know women don't want to hear it. And if I'm unsure, don't do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. That's the other kind of quagmire in trying to date these days, where people aren't socializing the way they used to. It's all lots of social media, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the point that you were talking about being on the beach, that doesn't happen as much anymore. Maybe because people are afraid to do that. I don't know.
Right.
But
Yes.
it's very interesting.
Well, I think the social media is a shortcut. It's like, well, why do I have to go out, spend money, worry about my body, take my shirt off on the beach, when I could just like hit them up on social media and
AI your body, Yeah, that's
stop all my secrets.
No, that's real. That's real.
True, right?
Because if you're already nervous, right? If you're already nervous, then even, online feels like a stretch. So
without doubt.
Yeah, there's a bit of a crisis of masculinity. That's why
definitely a crisis of masculinity. No question about it. Absolutely.
And it's so there's more and more women that are just choosing to be single. I deeply wanted partnership, but also I couldn't date a guy that's not in his healthy masculine, you know?
Right.
And it was kind of tough to find.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Wow. That's
that
tells a lot.
Yeah, I may press you on that later because
go ahead. I'm here to help.
Okay. What's the biggest mistake you see when men? What's the biggest mistake you see men making when they first realize their romantic life is out of tune?
Not getting support and keep doing the same things over and over again. Like trying, maybe if I get on different apps or I swipe more or I, follow like people that tell me this is how you get a girl or this is what you do or this is what you say, like kind of manipulation tactics, honestly. That's what I would say is the biggest mistake. And not being in a men's group, like a men's circle, doing men's work with other men.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, so many people are isolated these days too, so they don't reach out to groups, right?
Yeah.
They're just basically in front of the computer, for the most part, and they're not really socializing with other men.
Yeah,
and that's a big difference. From growing up, at least when I was younger, guys hung out with guys a lot, right? And we did sports and we did other things, whatever it was. But we were always hanging out together, working together, groups. So well, I think that makes a difference. I really do. I think that makes a difference.
And 100%. I think it also breaks down to like some of the things guys do to, I guess enhance them. So I'll give you an example. Like when I got out of my first long-term relationship and I got into the dating world, I would go out with, some guys and I noticed like every guy I was with, like there's 3-4 guys and they all smell really, really intensely with cologne.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this? Like little things guys do to think like, oh, if I put more cologne on or something, that's going to attract a woman. Yeah. And I would just be like, I don't know if this is the winning ingredient.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Or,
Bathing
buy
in cologne. You didn't think that?
Yeah. Or like, buying an expensive car or doing something. Yeah. Rather than realizing it's either something internal or is something that who are you looking for?
Yeah. Well, riding up in your 10-speed to the club, I mean, I probably should have done that. But,
Well, that's because I lost my license.
Well, then that makes sense.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, for Project Y, and this, Jess, we've always looked at, which is why you're here. We have always looked at women as the gold standard for self-care.
Yeah.
So in your experience, what is one thing women do inside and out that men should start emulating today as far as, the whole dating world goes?
Great question. I like
Thanks,
that question.
buddy.
Yeah. Let me write that down.
Well, it was already on the list, but I know you don't read it.
I don't read. I come in here, not knowing what's going on. Anyway.
I think women are more open to actually doing the work on themselves internally.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And so in doing that, then they grow and expand in consciousness. And often men are trying to catch up to that.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is work on yourself, do the inner work, like look at what's been showing up. What are the patterns? Where are you running into the same wall over and over again? And get some support from someone who can help you so that you can have a different experience, because our subconscious mind is so powerful. If we believe something to be true, like the guy that was worried about being creepy, right? If he has this belief, maybe something happened, or maybe another friend said something about his feedback from a woman, and then now he's scared of being creepy, he'll find evidence of that actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
same thing with just doing the work on ourselves and the patterns that we have, we will stay the same unless we're in enough discomfort to change. And women are more likely to say, okay, I need to take some action. I need to make this commitment. I need to invest in my well-being. And men are less likely to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying guys are lazy. Okay. So
we're not self-aware. I think it's more
I'm
about
saying I think it's just more socially acceptable for women than it is for men, which I wish it wasn't the case. And I do think it's changing, but it's our society, right? But men there is a real crisis. Like men are feeling super alone. There's an issue with like porn. There's an issue with the dating apps and social media. Like all of that is creating so much isolation and it's perpetuating itself.
Yeah. It's toxic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
my next question was, how does a woman's higher level of emotional awareness give her the advantage in the current dating market? But I think you just kind of answered it, is they're willing to do the work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we can sense things, right? Like even if a guy presents, well, like externally with like the car or whatever, we can feel what's going on before, like you said, the seventh sense. We know what's up. So
yeah, that's true.
We can feel your energy. We can feel what's not being said. And so you working on your own self and getting grounded and connected and making sure that you have community and making sure that you have other men. Like even when I work with men, I say to them, I'm going to help you with all this stuff, but I also need you to be in a men's group or men's circle because men need men.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I think you probably answered all the 3Ds, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Why is a man who is proactive about his mental and physical state more attractive than the one who just lets life happen to him? But I think you answered it by saying women, they have that seventh sense. They know, they can smell success, and success doesn't just mean wealth or success at a job or anything like that.
Yeah, that's right. They can tell the guy's grounded or not. That's the reality.
Yeah, if we can feel it. And then if the guy's not grounded, we aren't going to feel safe.
Right. Absolutely. Because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that security, that safety.
And because we're calibrating off of your energy.
Right. Yeah.
So we can feel if there's frenetic energy, or we can feel. And so it's not really, fair, but it's just how it is.
Just how it is. Yes.
Yeah.
We're used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably wasn't. I mean, if you look 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever, I don't think it was like that because
I wasn't born, Rob. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry to say you were. No. But, men had that, I think, more of that core group back then. And they just basically disassociated with it through pretty much technology and social media and all this. So I think it's pretty, within the last 10 years have been worse, right? I would think.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting worse. And, I really feel for men because I know there's like a level of isolation and loneliness, and it just perpetuates itself. And it can be they don't know which way to go or what to do or where to turn.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So from a psychological standpoint, what would one thing be you would tell men that are failing to make a connection in this time of, this era? What's one thing you would say?
It is that there's probably something going on underneath the surface that is contributing to that, right? So there's all of these societal factors that are real, that are happening, but also there's people that are coming together and meeting each other and creating relationships every day, right? So we don't want to get too into that energy because, again, then we're going to find more evidence of it, right? But the other thing is, a lot of times there's two desires that are conflicting. So I met with a guy the other day on a consult call, and he's in college, and he hasn't been able to meet a girl and actually have it develop into a relationship. So he was on the consult with me saying, like, what can I do differently? Da, da, da. And we explored it a little bit, and we realized that he has a belief that if he does get into a relationship, that he's going to not be able to have peace.
Oh, that's interesting.
So these conflicting beliefs of like, and he just realized it on the call, right? I said, well, there might be some sort of protection that's keeping you safe, but it's also keeping you from what you want. And he was like, oh my gosh, because I hear my friends telling me all of their drama with their girlfriends, and I think, oh, I don't want that. So he's kind of blocking himself, but he didn't even realize it. So these are the things that are really important, because all of us have these protection patterns from going through life and going through challenges or trauma.
And seeing your potential parents having issues, right?
Exactly.
So all trickles down, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. And whatever we experienced as children becomes our blueprint for our adult relationships.
Right.
Whether we like it or not.
Wow.
Right.
Because it's programmed into our brains.
Yeah, I'd imagine it is.
Yeah.
I guess you can reprogram, right? If you're working on yourself, and that's probably the key.
That's what I help people do.
Right.
You absolutely can. There's neuroplasticity. You can rewire your brain. You can have a whole different experience. But if you don't know what's going on, you're just going to be at the effect of the programming.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
Well, all these we talked about a little bit in the beginning, but all of these social rules that are being applied through social media and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of pressure for men to do the wrong thing.
Yes. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure in general for men.
Yeah. Definitely. Being in a dating game as a young male right now. I mean, if you are, I'm not young, but if you're a young male and being in the dating game, that's got to be difficult. It really does. College and past, right? I mean, that's not easy.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes both ways, though. I will say that I don't want to come down too hard on social media, because it is useful, and let's say all types of media, because there's people who meet each other going live on Xbox playing games. You can meet someone.
Sure. But it's a form of socialization.
Yeah.
No question.
But it goes back and forth. It could be something that you can get eliminated really quickly, or you can have the opportunity for someone to know you for, who you are rather than what you look like, and that whole initial meeting that you had to do 30 years ago.
I wonder though how many people get complacent with just having those online relationships rather than having real relationships.
That's a problem. I mean,
it
is a problem.
I think
I know guys who can't get out of that. Right. Just get stuck into that.
Get stuck into that. Yeah. That makes sense.
You mean they meet someone online and then they're just pen pals?
Yeah, well,
kind of like that.
Look, I think
they don't want to take that next step.
I think there are some men that are content with the discussion.
Yeah.
And they're probably trading images back and forth and whatever. Yeah. And they're satisfying whomever. They could have multiple women that they're speaking with.
Yeah.
And the pressure's off. You really don't have to perform in certain areas.
Right.
That you would normally fail. Yeah. And if
we're gonna dig down on that.
Yeah.
About are you projecting?
Right. But then it leads to that passive approach of waiting for a woman to choose you. Right. Becomes a trap.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Well, a woman who's emotionally healthy is not going to be connecting with someone online that she met and like trading images back and forth.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So that's a good screening tool already.
Yep. Yeah.
It's, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
a woman who's emotionally healthy is going to want to connect with you and then get off the app as quickly as possible and meet you in person.
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
But men don't have that 7th sense for them to
Right.
detect that. So
Yeah.
they're gonna think,
Yeah.
hey, this is great, right?
Well, the
So,
other thing is, can you rule out that the woman isn't looking for that as well? I mean, you can't rule that out because there are some women out there that are content with that as well.
yeah,
It's
maybe,
not just
Yeah.
I don't
men
know.
are bad.
But maybe that's
No.
not emotionally,
But
stable.
Yeah.
that's a tell.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's a tell with how healthy you are, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
So
exactly. I would think
you
so.
screening as a man
Yeah.
Mhm.
can see like, okay, because you shouldn't really be connecting. You really should not even be building connection through texting. Like, if you're connecting on the app, sure. Hi, nice to meet you. Have a little back and forth, switch to text, switch to a phone call and meet as soon as possible.
Right.
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 Like that's the best way to do it. And
Yeah.
online is a crapshoot in my opinion. But like
I think so too. Yeah.
what I started doing is FaceTiming with people before too, because I'm like, I'm not going to waste my precious time. Like, and it
Yeah.
might be a little weird. It might sound a little weird, but just to kind of feel into the energy and see, because then you don't have to take all this time and getting ready and you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I had another client and he was like matching with women and then driving an hour from where he lived to pick them up and taking them to these like really expensive restaurants. And the whole time he didn't even enjoy their company.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you got to screen them a little better.
Yeah. Screen. Yeah. That's a good point, actually.
You guys have to screen us too.
Yeah. Especially today's the day and age,
Yeah.
right? It's easy to screen. So why not?
You got to screen them.
Point. Yeah.
And also know what you want, right? Like if you're cool with that, if you're cool with that level of connection, okay, but you have to kind of know what it is.
Yeah.
Also, you want to make sure they are who they say they are.
Right.
Well, that's the other thing.
That's the other thing. Right?
Again, I'm fairly fresh, 3 or 4
Yeah.
years now out of it, but I can tell you, like, I feel for those stories because I understand that the littlest thing can throw it off. And sometimes you hold on to hope, like, okay, well, I don't want to screen too much because I don't want to find out if maybe she does have kids or something. You hope so much that, like, okay, if this meeting goes well, there's huge chemistry, then nothing else matters, right?
Right. Well, that's danger.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
No.
Yeah. When they bring their husband on the date, you could really be
exactly. Well, hey there, guys. I want to take a minute and talk about our sponsor, Flip My Life. Rob, why don't you tell everybody about a couple of the products, what's inside them, and what it does for you, the benefits.
Absolutely. I can do that since I'm taking it, right? We all think we eat healthy all the time, but we don't, right? I mean, so we eat to survive rather than thrive. So I think, eating, getting some supplements that are, made for getting maximum nutrients is important. So I don't have it with me, but I take Flip 7, which is a protein drink. And that actually has micronutrients, macronutrients, proteins, amino acids. And it assures that you're getting all the nutrients needed for proper muscle growth, lean muscle mass, weight loss. It complements pretty much across the spectrum for health and nutrition. And then another product I'm taking, they have several products, so you can take a look, but Flip 8 is one of my favorites. It's an amino acid, creatine, HMB. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a pretty cool product. It actually has, for muscle loss and muscle wasting, it actually helps support muscle mass. If you're on a diet, you're trying to lose weight. And then I take this one that's really important for gut health, and it's called Flip 6. But definitely go on the website, flipmylifenow.com. But Flip 6 is great. It actually supports good probiotics in the gut and prebiotics. Gut health, obviously the gut is important because it does speak to the brain. It's ensuring that your gut health is in check and that your natural flora for immune support is in check as well.
Right. So this is like a product. This is like a system.
This is a system.
6, 7,
it is a
8.
system. Yeah. There's several products you can take. And basically, you don't have to take everything.
Right.
You take where you feel you're missing, right? Where you're missing out. Gut health is a big deal for most people. Protein, enough protein, as you've seen the guidelines for protein has increased. A lot of us don't get enough protein, especially when we're busy working. and moving around so much. We don't sit down and eat a ton of protein. So this gives you a supplemental, component of protein that actually has the right nutrients and a right amino acid profile for overall muscle health and growth.
Very good. Thank you.
Anyway,
well, let's talk about we're talking about apps and the Tinders and the Bumbles of the world, I guess you could say. So statistics show that nearly 70% of singles are burnt out on apps, which makes sense.
Okay.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. So what is that data telling us about long-term success rates of digital dating for men?
Well, to your point, I think the apps add this, like if you meet someone in the world, right, it organically unfolds and you just learn about them and you don't even know, are we interested in each other romantically or not? It's just like human to human. You're just meeting another human. But I think the online adds that element of like almost like hypervigilance where it's like not helpful, where if there's a tiny little, like you said, a tiny little thing that we think, oh, I don't want that. Like I'll tell you a story of my friend. I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I tell you this. She had all of these guidelines. She wanted a guy that was over 6 feet, who didn't have kids, who was Latin because she's Latin, and didn't have pets. So that was her kind of her thing. And then
pretty
she had
narrowed down.
Wow. Yeah. So, but the guy that she ended up with, she went on and he's lovely and they're engaged now. He's none of those things. None of them. But
it's always like that.
Yeah. I mean, and so you want to get clear on what you want, right? But you also want to leave space for what the universe has in store for you.
Right.
Because there is no perfect person.
Yeah.
And when she went on a date with him, she was like, this is someone that I could build with. Like, this is someone that I could build a life with, and it's just funny because now she's posting all these videos of his cat and it's just hilarious.
I was going to ask that. Does he have a cat? I was going to ask exactly.
He has a cat. He had 2. I think
he has 12 cats and he's 5'2".
I can relate to this so much because I know that I've never been that guy that like walks in a room and everyone's like, oh my God. I always knew that, my personality, my charisma, my charm, let me see what else. My humor always landed that date.
Yeah.
So that's where I think like the social media thing comes in well, because you could always put those things forward.
Create the banter.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a face shot, okay, I look okay from the neck up.
Right.
But it's those other things like, can I make her laugh and everything? And then that opens the door. I think, wow, when you walk in the first time, like, if you're not 6 feet, or if you're not this, you're not that, they're more open to change.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it's how we feel in your presence.
Right.
Like if we feel safe, if you can make us laugh, that's the best. If you're leading, if you're taking charge and leading, but not being pushy, like pushy's not good.
Balance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get
You're
into
having that steak rare no matter what. I ordered it, damn it. That's the way you eat it.
We're going to get into some of these.
Took it too far.
Exactly.
We're going to get into some of these demands, but first thing that leads into this is, okay, from your experience, what is the first thing women swipe? What is it? Swipe right or swipe left? That they deny.
Right.
Swipe left.
Yeah. Left is deny.
Okay. Left is deny. What? So what is that? The first thing women swipe left for? What would you say? One thing. Just initial aesthetics.
Well, if you're just looking at a picture, it has to be just aesthetics. Right?
Well, but there's a bio under, right? So it'll say height, weight.
I mean, I think it's gonna be such a woman answer, but it's like not just one thing. Like it's like we look at the profile and we get a sense for the person.
Been to jail.
You get a sense.
This guy's been to jail.
And sometimes that's attractive, which is a problem, right?
Okay,
it's like, convicted felon? Yes, please.
Okay, well, let's go. Yeah.
Then you got to call me if that's your pattern. Like, let's work that one out.
Right. Definitely work that out.
But it's just like a feel. Like, what's the overall feel? Right. So, but I went through it with my client the other day because he was off the apps for a while. He just wanted to really do the work. So he did the work with me for about a year, and now he's open to dating again. And we went through his profile, and I was like, okay. I just kind of went through, and I'm like,
you swipe left. All right.
yeah, I was like, that's going to be a left. No,
That's going to be left.
no, that's a left profile. No,
Exactly.
but just general things like he had glasses on and a bunch of pictures, like sunglasses.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right,
if we can't see your eyes, like we need to be able to see your eyes, and we need to have like a picture of your face, right? Like that's important.
That's helpful.
Yeah, and it sounds
Makes
obvious,
sense. That
but
makes
like
sense. Yeah.
a lot of them are like faraway pictures with sunglasses on,
Yeah.
and like we can't. Who are you? Like, what do you even look like?
Right.
We can't tell. We can't read your energy.
True.
So yeah.
Well, especially with the technology today, like, you know, the camera, there's no excuses anymore.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years ago, I remember when Instagram first came out and stuff, and you're taking these photos with these really low pixel cameras.
Terrible, right?
And
yeah.
so, okay, some blurriness there. It makes sense. But now,
no,
it's
now
it's like
it's
3D.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So can you use cartoon characters?
You can.
Well, is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah. I always use AI so.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with AI.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
My friend just posted a headshot, and she was like, I didn't have a headshot. No problem. AI just made one for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is part of the thing. Like I told him, I was like, next time I see you, you know, I can snap a couple pictures of you if you want,
Right.
you know?
Right.
But then he can even like set your camera up and just like do it, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty easy, right?
Right.
But I would say if you have a friend that's a girl, ask a friend that's a girl to take a few pictures of you.
That's very good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking pictures of you anymore.
Or your bestie for 30 years if you're a guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you first have to know how to use a camera.
That's true. So I'll get you good. So I just turn around. All right, stop.
All right, so let's talk about some of these demands, because I added this stuff in here. So we'll talk about demands, and we're going to talk about the photos, because I've got a little bone to pick with you.
Oh boy! All right,
a bone to pick.
Oh, now you're in trouble.
So the demands. Let's get them out of the way, because guys are at a severe disadvantage on the dating apps in particular, because like you said, the girls have all these things, physical demands and expectations. You know, you got the height, you got the weight, you got the, you know, the hair, you know, this is unfair. I mean, you know, trying to navigate this, it was horrible.
Yeah,
because you never know. You hear all the time, well, women want this and they want this, and it's like you're always trying to fit in to that mold. And all I could say from my experience, guys out there in the audience, if you're listening, don't lie. Whatever you do,
of course,
you want to throw a half an inch on yourself. You know, you want to wear a hat but have other photos. Fine, but they sense that stuff out. Like, you know, they're like these drug sniffing dogs.
We may want to edit that.
Anyway. I like that. I think that's true.
It is true. Actually.
And then the other thing is, well, did you want to respond to that, Jess? Or
yeah, I mean, I think this is where people get lost, right? With like, well, what do women want? And it's like, just be your authentic self. Like, if you can just be your authentic self and be the best version of you, and of course that's always going to be evolving and you're still going to be a human, but then you're going to naturally weed out people that aren't aligned versus like, oh, do women like this or they like that? Should I do this or should I do that? Because even that is kind of scattered energy versus like, this is a person who knows who he is. He's grounded in himself. Like my boyfriend now, when I went out with him on a date, I was like, this feels different. Like this energy feels different. I just felt held, like energetically held. And it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this really feels different than what I've been experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Well, you say, you know,
be authentic.
Well, you say what women want, and that is a big thing, because no matter how much you try and say, oh, you know, I don't care, I'm just going to be myself and they'll come to me. That's a problem, because your profile will never get looked at. You'll never go on a date.
I don't agree with that, actually.
Right. And look, I'm coming from my experience, but I can say that when you talk to other men, or even you talk to your women friends, and like we said earlier, like you need to be confident, and you need to do this, and don't wear all this cologne, and get a pair of nice shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
You constantly go through this cycle of change and then you meet women who say, well, something you heard prior, like, okay, women want this, and then, or like women want the bad boy, and like you're a good guy, so you got to figure all that out, right? And then you talk to another woman who's a friend, and they're like, no, women don't care about that. You're like, can you guys make up your mind?
Yeah.
Because you'll see women say, no woman wants this, or no woman wants you to be like this. And then you got that in your head, like, okay, I have to change completely. And then you meet someone that be like, oh, that's not a big deal. You know, just be yourself, whatever.
Well, I think because the generalization of like all women want this or all women want that, like can't be accurate for all women.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends on the woman, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's individualized.
like with the cologne thing, like some people might not mind that, but for me, I'm like, if you're dousing yourself in cologne, that's literally disrupting your hormones, and that's that's a whole other problem.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But I hear you. I hear what you're saying around like, you know, women want this, and you've heard this, and da. But it's like at the end of the day, you can only be your own self, and if it helps to look at how you present, right? Like I have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend, Bree, who she does styling for men, and she helps them. She'll like decorate, like style their homes and style their wardrobes. And that can change a man's energy, because it's like,
no doubt, confidence, right? Yeah.
Confidence and just the way you present. And so there are definitely things that generally speaking are helpful for sure.
Yeah, without doubt.
Yeah.
And then I did mention the whole good guy versus bad guy thing.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
This is the big thing. This
So-
is a
so I
big
wanna-
thing.
Yeah, so I definitely want to touch on that.
Okay.
I've found that it's good to have a little mix of both, right? And you might have to like navigate that a little bit as a guy, but you have to figure it out. You know, it doesn't mean like go buy a motorcycle and go knock off a grocery store and then, you know,
Good. That's good to hear.
propose the next day. But you do have to learn how to navigate that, because women do want that. I mean, and I think guys want that too. Guys just don't express themselves of what they're looking for. There's no like, you know, tall, dark, and handsome. Like we grew up, and all you hear is tall, dark, and handsome. Tall, dark. Guys don't have a 3-word description of a woman, you know, and I think that's a disadvantage. But I think if you understand a little bit about what women want, and you know how to transform your life in a way that fits, you can be a good guy and have that bad boy.
So mainly you're talking about being a little edgy.
Yeah, we want
edgy.
Edgy,
Right.
I would
Right.
say, right.
we like
So how do you do that
Right.
without, you know,
Right.
going
So
to prison?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Because that's what, you know, most
Yeah.
guys think.
No, it's true. It's true though. It's
Exactly.
true. Like,
And
so there's a different, this is a bit of a, like, it's simple, but it's maybe not super easy to understand, but once you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
But we don't want a nice guy, which is different than a good guy. So a nice
Fair
guy
point.
is a people pleaser
Right.
who is not being fully honest, right? And
Yep.
maybe kind of a pushover. So that we do not want that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we
makes
want a good guy. A good guy is a guy who is in his groundedness. He has his center. He won't let you push him around.
Right.
You know, he can hold it. He can hold it all. He can hold himself. He can hold you. But you know, for many, many years, like I was into the bad boy guys.
Yeah.
And like eventually I had to do a lot of work, like on my end, to stop finding that attractive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Really. Because
makes
I'm like,
sense.
oh yeah, convicted felon. Let's go. Like, and I wish I was kidding.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
But now, you know, now that I've done a lot of work on it, it's unattractive to me. Like when someone's like before, when I was single, someone's inconsistent, someone's kind of like messing with your emotions, someone's connecting with you and then pulling away. I'm like, this is like a little boy now.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a healthy guy. But I had to get to the point where I was secure and healthy within myself, so that I wasn't trying to seek, because what that actually is a mechanism where we're trying to correct our childhood with the bad boy.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And like if we
That
can,
makes sense.
right. And so if we do the work, then it's no longer attractive.
Right. Right.
Right.
So that's on the women's end. But same thing with men, right? Like if you're into like the dark, like mysterious girl that like doesn't return your text or like leaves you hanging or whatever, then there's probably some work to do there. And
Right.
you can have a mix, like you said. So you don't have to go swing the pendulum all the way over here,
Right.
because it also creates polarity and attraction, right? So
Right.
you can still have the attraction and it be healthy.
Right. So I think there's a few things you said on the, which I think brings a lot of clarity to good versus nice. So,
Mhm.
but I think women also, and I understand the difference when you say nice. Like, it doesn't mean be a jerk to everybody,
Right,
because
right.
women also do
No.
appreciate like how you treat other people, how you treat your mom, how you treat other
Yes.
people.
Oh,
Be
yeah,
nice,
that's important.
but don't be a pushover.
Right.
Right.
That's the key.
Mhm.
Be assertive, have confidence,
Mhm.
and look, guys, you have to balance it. You have to work at it. It's not something you're just going to have overnight.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it wasn't modeled for you, which most men it was not, then you're not going to have any frame of reference for it, right?
Right.
So
Right.
this is why I say get yourself into a men's circle or a men's group. And if you need help with that, if you're listening, shoot me a message and I'm happy to send you some. One of my friends does one on Zoom every Monday. And also there's some in person, but it's really, really important to be around other men who are also working on this.
Yeah.
right.
It makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you do offer consultation, correct, Jess?
Oh, yeah. Like I work with a lot of men and I help them with this. And
Yeah.
a lot of them find it really supportive to have a woman, like a woman's perspective,
Yeah.
when they're navigating some
I
of
think
these
that's, I
things.
think that's probably better. Absolutely. To have a
Yeah.
woman's perspective
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
would
because
rather
I
that.
can
Yeah.
I can look at, okay, show me the conversation with her. Okay, this is what's going on. And this is what you should say back. And not in a way that's not authentic, but just helping them show up to lead with that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's a big foundation with Project Wise. We
Yeah.
know, like we said, we rely on women for
Right.
a lot of this stuff to
Absolutely.
improve men.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know in my life, the times that I've relied on men to tell me how to treat other women and what to do on dates. So like I failed every single time. It's only been,
Women that have
women friends or just,
Yeah.
research I've done through women,
Mhm.
telling you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men have
Well-
no idea.
Well,
Men.
and it depends, right? So, because only men who have had models of healthy masculinity have an idea, right?
Right.
And even then, maybe still no, right?
Right,
So, it's okay. Like you're not alone. This is what's happening in our society. There's also a lot of really messed up messages in society
Yeah.
around all this stuff. But yeah, I have a client and he said to me, I introduced him to a men's circle and he was like, thank God, because he was asking his male friends and they were giving him advice and it was not helping at all. And if anything, it was making things worse.
Oh boy.
So you also want to look at who you're surrounding yourself with.
Without a doubt. I
Yeah.
think that's in life in general.
Yes.
Absolutely. I agree
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And look at, do they have what you want? Right.
Right.
And whether they're in a relationship or not, because that's not always the gauge, but just like, how are they moving in the world? Do they have healthy relationships? How do they
Mhm.
handle, conflict or problem solving? Like, how are they doing overall in life? And is this someone who you think is a source that could be supportive for you? Because they're
Right.
going to be giving you advice based on their own life experience too.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And how they are with other people, which leads me
Right.
to a question I just added to this because I think I mentioned it earlier. What, in your opinion, what's the value behind how a man treats his mother, let's say, like what that relationship is? Like what's the boundaries there?
Mm.
And what does that tell you as a woman looking, maybe not even to date or to settle down, just like
Yeah.
a perspective?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, how a man treats his mother is a good indicator of how he's going to treat you. But sometimes if it's not a healthy dynamic,
If it's
like-
mama's boy type dynamic.
right?
thing,
Like
yeah,
I have a client
That's
now
dangerous.
who his mom is almost treating him as like a surrogate partner
Wow.
where she doesn't want him to have a girlfriend. She doesn't want him to get married. And that's not great.
Yeah.
So
No,
what
that's
we-
not great. That's definitely
No, like, and that's why he
Yeah.
has not had a relationship,
Yeah,
right?
makes
So
sense. Yeah.
it like we can't speak in sweeping generalizations about it, but
Yeah.
but generally I would say like how a guy treats his mother will be a good indicator of how he treats you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, with saying that, I think men have to realize that too, like going into a date, they have to understand, like, women are looking at this. Is that so? What do you think about when women are going on these dates? Do you, from a woman's perspective, is that something they want to know early on? Like, oh, I want to meet your mom, or I want to be in that environment in third dates. I want to see how you interact. Is that a thing, or is that just something?
I think you just, like, as a woman, you're just listening, right? Like the biggest thing I tell my female clients is just be the observer.
Right.
Be the observer, listen, and you will get a lot of information from doing that, right? So it doesn't mean you necessarily need to meet his mother, but like, how does he speak about his mother? How does he speak about his family? How does he speak about maybe his past relationships? Like, you can get a lot of information if you're just being the observer and being in reality.
Right.
But where people, men and women, can miss the mark is where you mentioned before, like the attraction. Like if we're attracted, it's like, oh, great, off to the races, right? But then we're not discerning enough. And then we end up in a relationship with someone, or, a few months down the road, few years down the road, where it's like, shoot, this was totally based on physical chemistry and there wasn't really a lot of compatibility.
Right. That's actually a really big distinction there, I think, that, between that attraction and compatibility, right?
Yeah.
Because we do forget that. We, especially if you're physically attracted to somebody.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Just takes
you
over.
jump in, right? People jump in and that's it. And they think it's wonderful. And 5 weeks later, they realize, holy smokes.
You're just being, I remember those days. You're like, you're in this intense relationship. The chemistry is incredible.
Yeah.
And all you're thinking of is, God, I hope this doesn't happen.
Right.
Or I hope she doesn't do this. Or I hope,
Yeah.
And what is that?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why we need to just slow down.
Yeah.
Like really slow down, which is not going to be the natural tendency.
Right.
But it's like slow down, get to know interesting people, and just see, right? Because then you will end up kind of setting yourself back. Like that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to get to where I am, because I would just be like, oh, I'm attracted to them. Great, cool. And then, I gathered a lot of material that informs my coaching. So that's helpful. But now I know what not to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of what not to do, let's start talking about these photographs. So
the bone to pick
with you. So I was perusing your Instagram and I was watching some of your reels because I was trying to learn something. And what I learned is
you've done everything wrong.
So let's talk about photos, because it is, we're talking about the apps, we're talking about, the online stuff. This is a very important information. I've heard that some of this stuff before, but I want you to clarify. So I'll start with the glasses, because you brought that up earlier. So no sunglasses, you said in your video, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't. Okay, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember you saying, okay, you can post one picture with your sunglasses on, but make sure the other 6 are with them off so we can see your eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important distinction, because I want to make sure guys.
I would just say no sunglasses.
Overall, in all the photos?
Yeah, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. You need to be able to see. And there's not that many pictures. It's still hard to, even with the pictures, it's hard to get a sense for somebody.
Yeah.
So it's a barrier. It's like, it's like this.
Right.
That's true. That's good.
Yeah. It's not a deal breaker, but I would just say, best practices would be no sunglasses.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it makes sense,
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next one, I think it's hilarious. No fishing pics.
Yeah. I'll tell you. You got to throw everything out now. Luckily, you don't fit.
Yeah. All those worms I have.
Tackle box.
Listen, I've heard this before in
Really?
the past.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I heard it. What? Like, I don't even who I don't know any guys
Oh, who
That's
does
supposed to be
that?
fishing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh, there's so many fishing pics.
Well, you're not trying to.
That's
You're not
insane.
trying to date guys. So
They're
how are you
like,
gonna see those?
yeah, right,
I
right.
mean, really.
Right,
you
true.
know?
So what is it? Give me the lowdown on no fishing pics. Is it the fish? Is it the water? Like, what is it that throws you guys off
I
so
don't know.
much?
It's just strange. Like it's like you can like fishing, but why do you need to post a fishing pic?
Yeah.
And the absolute worst is like hunting pictures.
I was
Like,
gonna say, how about a
Ah,
deer
yeah.
behind you, right? You know.
Okay. So it's more down the line
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the whole animal thing, or
honestly, I don't even know. I just know every single woman I know is like, ugh, fishing pic.
Yeah. yeah. I don't
That's
think you. I
hilarious.
mean, yeah, you're not really putting your best self forward when you show a.
It's kind of weird. Like,
I
can
mean,
you
come on,
explain? Can you
right?
explain to me as like, or is it's not something you would do? It sounds like, right? Or it is.
No, I
never.
mean,
Okay.
I don't fish,
I don't
but
fish
I'm
either.
thinking
Okay.
I
to the
don't
men
hunt or
who
fish.
I'm thinking about the guys who do fish.
Like,
Yeah.
why
right?
would they
Because-
do that?
Well, it's like,
don't
you
get
know, you're taking a photo of, you know, yourself, maybe in the car, maybe in the gym, things you do, things you
Yeah.
like, your hobbies.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're camping. Like, what's the
So
difference
you're
between
hoping
your
that a
camping?
girl likes fishing and
Trying to distinguish
linking?
between like what's the foul?
yeah, yeah.
You know, what
Yeah,
is it
why?
that? Because if you're I don't hear women saying don't take a picture while you're camping. And
Right.
it's like the river's 10 steps away from your tent. What's the like if you're fishing, like where's that distinction of
Yeah.
good to bad? Like I don't get it.
I think it's just because so many people do the fishing pic. It's just it's so I don't
Such
know how to-
repetitive and
it's
I
just
didn't realize
strange.
it's that big of a like
Yeah.
people doing fishing pics.
Yeah.
I've heard
Why?
it. I've heard it.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's-
mean,
it's
if you were a
kinda weird.
fisherman,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you would take fishing pics.
And then they show the fish.
maybe.
They're like,
Yeah.
"Hi, here's my
Yeah.
fish that I caught."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What
you
is that
travel a lot.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
take a lot of traveling pics. It's
Yeah.
part of your hobby. Maybe you're posting a picture where you're traveling, or you
Right.
take a picture with your dog, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
You know,
But I don't.
If
hang
I
the
was a
dog.
girl-
I mean, the dog's not hanging. I mean, it's
Well,
hanging for-
yeah.
Maybe
No,
it's
but
the
that's-
hanging.
yeah,
I
That's
think
what
it's
I
the
think. I'm telling you, it's
that's a
Something's
good
off.
answer.
it's the death of
Something's-
an animal.
I accept that answer.
That's
Something's
what I
off.
think the foul
I
is.
think that's
Yeah.
at least you have a response, and you're not a
Yeah,
woman.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you guys, like, why would someone post a fishing pic?
Yeah.
But
Well,
you
I
don't
think
know.
for those reasons that maybe it's a hobby.
Yeah,
You know,
like, this is what I
it's
like
just my
to do."
hobby, and you know, I took
Yeah.
a picture yesterday of me playing basketball,
Yeah.
and that's not offensive.
Different than a dead fish hanging.
Well,
I'm
but
just
that's what I'm
you
saying.
know,
If that's
yeah.
if that's the
Yeah.
In the
answer,
end, when you're fishing, most of the
Yeah.
people are going to either kill the fish and
Yeah.
eat the fish
Yeah,
and have throwbacks.
yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
you know,
no,
I think it's just
I get
the-
that. That's why I asked you
Yeah.
about the animals.
Yeah.
It's a
thing,
little
if
morbid,
it's, like,
actually.
more.
It's a little
Yeah.
morbid.
Well,
It's a bit weird.
Put that
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
let's move on from the
Yeah.
dead
No
fish.
fishing. No fishing pics there.
The fish's head was that the
Just trust me
Godfather?
on this
Yeah.
one. Just trust
Exactly.
me.
Oh, that was the
I'm gonna ask
horse's
you to
head.
trust
The
me.
horse's head was yeah.
It definitely not.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, no hunting pics either.
Yeah. So this next one is a little befuddling too. The pics with multiple friends. Again, I get it. You're like, all the pics are, you know, with your buddies and you're drinking.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
Is this the one that most bothers you?
No?
Okay,
No,
we're
the
gonna
fishing
get there,
one.
right? Okay, the fishing one.
The
Was that was
fishing
the most,
bothered
right?
the most.
No, not about it. I think it's the most peculiar. Like
Right.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
understand what the
Yeah.
motivation is. That's why I asked. Is the animal thing?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
can we move on? Rob?
We can move on.
You're obsessed with the fishing.
I'm obsessed.
But you earlier
I'm
you said
posting one tomorrow.
Well,
All right, I
Jess-
have a goldfish. All right,
that's creepy.
that is kind of
Earlier you mentioned community. So I think there's some value in, okay, I'm showing one photo with some of my friends just to say, okay, he's got friends. If I, as emergency contact or something like that, like,
Mhm.
is it just all pics? No friends.
I mean, I think it's fine to have a pic maybe, but here's the thing, and this is it's not really fair, but like if you're posting a pic, like I've seen this where guys post a picture of a friend that's like way better looking and way taller. And,
Wow.
and it's like, why would
Yeah.
you put yourself beside that person?
yeah.
That
Like
makes-
that's
That actually smart, right?
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
and also if there's multiple pics with multiple people, then we don't even know which one you are.
Right.
So
Well,
that's
you
the
got a
more
big highlight
confusing.
around the head there.
Right.
Oh, and okay, thank you for bringing that up, because the other thing is people will post a pic with multiple people and then they'll put like emojis over the faces of everyone.
Yes, except them.
Weird.
Yes.
Yeah, except
okay.
them.
Okay.
Like, why not just
got it.
crop it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's strange. You know,
that sounds strange. Yeah.
it's strange.
See, Tony, you've done this, haven't you?
No, actually,
Okay, good.
maybe one.
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
With the emojis on the face?
No,
Okay,
no.
I just want to make sure. That is
Don't put emojis on faces.
No,
Yeah.
but I have posted a picture of
People.
me and a couple
Right.
guy friends, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's fine. Like, it's not, none of this stuff is a deal breaker, right? But if you have a profile with all of these things where it's like sunglasses, fish,
Right.
million
Yeah.
people, it's like, okay, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, no, look, the reason why I'm bringing this up because it is guys need this information.
Help. Yeah.
They need help. with this
Totally.
because it's
Yes.
the easiest stuff to remedy.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for them to just like don't
Yeah.
post a picture with a fish.
What are they?
It's simple,
It's very simple.
right?
Yeah.
But this is another one that's
Okay,
weird for
here
me,
we go.
right? the mirror selfies. Like, who
Oh,
are
yeah, no.
women to
No.
tell guys not to take women's selfies? That's all I used to see.
Wait, take what? selfie?
No.
I'm sorry.
No mirror
mirrors,
selfies.
mirror selfies.
Like shooting
Like-
it in the mirror?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean-
you can see in the mirror, you
Right.
can
Yeah.
see the guy holding the phone up, taking a picture of himself in the picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
women do this all the time, so
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly confused by this.
Well,
one,
for
but
both people, you shouldn't.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
See,
this
it's
is
a
not
full
a,
par. It's a full par for both.
Yeah.
Don't worry
yeah.
about it.
It's just strange. Like, it's like,
All right, guys, listen, we gave you 4 really good
Yeah.
tactics
Yeah.
to
What not to do?
what not to
yeah,
do
what not to
Yeah.
do.
to fix your profile
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Definitely.
Mhm.
All right, no fishing pics, no
And-
sunglasses, no multiple friends, and no mirror.
And
selfies.
also, don't shoot from a distance. Really get
Yeah.
you a picture in
Yeah.
there, right? Let people
Yeah.
see who you are. I like
Yeah.
that. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and that's
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
there's no excuse today. Technology is incredible. You
Right.
can zoom in.
Right.
Just
Mhm.
if you're not zooming in, you're hiding something. I think
Right.
you said that.
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which leads us into self-image part of this
Yeah.
unbelievable conversation.
Yeah.
If a man doesn't have a positive internal self-image, how does that manifest in his body language and vibe before even saying the first word?
We'll feel it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's what Jess. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Because
They'll right
nonverbal
away.
communication, I mean,
Yeah.
most communication is nonverbal, right? So
Yeah.
even for
Yeah.
women, like how we hold
Yeah,
ourselves, how
80%,
we
yeah.
speak, our mannerisms. That's why the
Mhm.
online thing, you're not really going to know until you meet in person
Mhm.
Right.
if there's any kind of a vibe,
That's true.
because you still can't read that until you meet in person.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we can feel it, we can sense it. So that's why, again, doing the work within yourself, you'll just carry yourself differently. You'll sit up taller, your shoulders will be back, you'll have that energy of exuding confidence, and we can feel all that.
Yeah.
Even on the app, even on the profile, I
Yeah.
can tell.
You were saying that on the pictures, right?
Yeah,
you could see
I
it
can
right
read
away.
it. And I'm
Right.
like,
What if
Yeah.
somebody's standing up straight with the fish? I'm sorry. Maybe not.
with
Oh,
the
God.
poor
Yeah.
fish.
That poor fish,
poor
I'll tell you.
fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna get a call from Peter.
I'm gonna get a call soon. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So-
But if you're a guy listening to this and you need help with your profile, like, I help people with this.
oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Show me. We
Yeah.
can go
Exactly.
through it. We can go through the pictures. We can go through what you wrote and also what you're looking for, because you want your profile to basically magnetize in what you're looking for.
Mhm.
So you want to
Yeah.
think about the
Interesting.
woman that you want to attract. What is she looking for?
Right.
Right.
Look, I think it's the best money spent, right, to get this kind of information. Because
Yeah, I
guys,
agree.
I know
I agree.
myself. I always paid for everything,
Right.
every
Mhm.
date, right?
Right.
Most guys, I would say most guys I know do that.
Right.
The money you're spending on dinners,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Put that money towards some good consultation.
Mhm.
Reach out to Jess, fix your profile, and you'll probably save on the next 3 dates.
Yeah. Well, you'll find the
Yes.
right, and you'll find the right.
And
date.
you'll find the
That's
right
the
thing.
key.
Yes.
Find the right date.
Yes.
So
Quality
go to
over quantity.
jesshendrick.com
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. Immediately.
Immediately.
I was promoting
I like
Jess.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
If you're resonating as you're listening and you need some support, let's connect, book a call. I do free connection calls and we can talk and see what's coming up for you and what's keeping you stuck.
Right. So continuing with the whole failure that is man, So what would your advice be to a guy who kind of loses that, spark? What steps could he take to go about, kind of liking
Yeah.
himself again? And
Yeah.
well, let me preface it, outside of any, go to the gym and,
Mhm.
take your body physically. We know that works. What would you say
Yeah.
outside of that?
Well, actually, I think that's a really, really important part is like the whole 360-degree approach, right? So
Mhm.
your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being,
Without a doubt.
we need to work on every one of those areas,
Yeah.
right? Because like I was saying, I really feel for men. Like some of the men that have come into my world they're amazing humans and they just don't know how to navigate because they were never taught, right? So it's like it's about them feeling safe enough, secure enough within themselves that they're anchored within themselves, like they're rooted into the ground, right? So
Right.
whether or not a woman says or does something, to make them feel a certain way, they don't get taken out by it.
Right.
Versus like a tree that's not really rooted in the ground and something happens and it just kind of falls over or gets really taken out. So, yeah, I mean, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. So, how are each of those areas of your life? And, you need to think about each one of them because that's the well-rounded person, not even just
Mhm.
man.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I think
I agree with that.
with that, men
everything.
have to accept and embrace that, there's some things they have to work on and overcome.
Without doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because-
every person, like
Yeah.
not just every human.
Yeah.
And dating and relationships are going to bring up your stuff.
Mhm.
So nothing is wrong if that's what's happening. It's just really pointing us in the direction of where you need some support, where you need some healing. That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And the wall to get to your next level is sometimes high and you have to scale it and there's spikes in it and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then it's worth it because you get to the next level, right? So even if you're in a moment where you're just feeling so uncomfortable, you're not sure which way to go or which way to turn, that is direction in itself. It means something is not working.
Right.
So hitting that rock bottom is actually a blessing, even though it feels horrible, because then you have nowhere to go but up. You have to do something differently.
Right.
Like whether you decide you want to get some support, you want to work with me, you want to work with someone else, but you have to do something differently because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep having the
Without
same
doubt. Yeah.
results.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about emotional intelligence because this is a phrase I hear all the time. When I was dating, it's like, "Oh, you're not emotional intelligent enough."
They told you that a lot?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
No, I'm very emotional intelligent.
Yeah, I don't think you got that
stubborn.
feedback.
No.
Yeah.
Just saying you hear it a lot.
Yeah.
And,
No,
and even you watch a lot of these dating shows,
Yeah.
which I have in the past, and they say this phrase a lot,
Mhm.
So it is
Right.
something that's there.
Right.
So how often is that misunderstood by men as being soft? And
Great question. I mean, emotional intelligence is attractive, right?
Mhm.
But also there's
But Jess, can I cut you off 1 second?
Yeah.
Define that the best you can, because you say emotional intelligence.
What does that mean?
What is that? Because guys
Yeah.
are going to be like, okay.
Yeah, great.
I have
What
no
are you talking
idea.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say self-awareness, like
Right.
being willing to look at yourself, being willing to use any obstacle in your life as an opportunity to expand and evolve. And being able to speak from that place, right? So we can feel it. And the thing that's interesting is like a lot of women, this is where women have a leg up on men because women, it's a little bit more socially acceptable for us to have emotions, for us to get support, for
Right.
us to, talk with each other about these things. So we've been able to develop that muscle a little bit more than men. But what happens is then we elevate here and then there's not a lot of men that can hang up here with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's a
and
good
it's
point.
not, men have strengths that they're there and we're here, right? But it's just a thing. So if you work on your getting to know yourself, right? Like know thyself. What makes you tick? What have you gone through in life? And being able to kind of speak to that from a grounded place, not oversharing, not going into like too much emotion too soon, because we still have to feel that you can hold yourself,
Right.
but that you're not afraid of your emotions. Like
Yeah.
when men cry, I think it's so attractive.
Even on the first date?
Probably not on a first date.
No, I'm teasing.
Yeah, probably not on a first date.
Right.
But a man that's in touch with his emotions is
Yeah.
attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
But I just think this is hilarious. Like
What?
this, what you guys are talking about,
Yeah.
what you just said is Jess says it's so attractive when men cry. And then you say on the first date, it's like, okay, well, let's put that stipulation on.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. Don't do it on the first date.
Yeah.
Because guys need this.
Yeah.
They need
Specifics.
Specifics.
Well, because I think what Jess said earlier is women want to know you can hold it together emotionally, right? So they don't, although they want you to be emotionally vulnerable, they don't want you to just come right out and the spigot's going.
Okay, but let me be the
Yeah.
contrarian for a second. Like if you're on a date and you're having an intense conversation, you guys are going deep, you're there a couple hours, and someone brings up one of your pets that died, and you get a little emotional, maybe a little. I'm just saying.
That's
not
there's
you.
probably exceptions.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well,
guys need to know this.
That.
Yeah. Guys need specifics. You're right.
Right.
That is true.
And yeah, I mean, I went on a date with someone and he said that he was talking about how his dad passed away and he had like his eyes got a little watery. And I'm like, that's what I would hope would happen.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm
See,
like,
that's
my dad
another.
died.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
All guys are gonna like fake the dog. That dog story.
If you're oversharing too much too soon.
Well, that's the key, right? Yeah.
Of course.
Like too much too soon. That's like, you want to ease in. You want to make sure as a man or a woman that whoever you're sharing with is actually safe to hold your heart.
That's a good point.
So you don't want to just go in out the gate of like, here's all my most delicate stuff,
Right.
But a man that's in touch with his emotions is really important because we can also sense if you're kind of disconnected from that.
Yeah.
And then that's going to impact the connection.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I want to drill down on more is the you mentioned earlier, we talked about it earlier too, is the self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me, I felt like in the time I was dating, this was something I excelled at.
Right.
So I think guys have to put work into this.
Yeah.
You have to look at what's successful for other men. I mean, social media is the perfect platform to do this,
right?
Where you could see what they're saying, and more specifically, what are women engaging with,
right? How they're reacting,
right?
To what
how they're reacting, what they're commenting on, and follow that lead. I mean, we do it in business all the time. You follow success, you strive for
mentors out there,
but some men have this like mental block in their head.
They do it their
way.
Like,
I'm just going to do it my way. Well, that's why you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the thing too, with social media, you have to be careful because there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Some of it's really helpful. Some of it's really going to lead you astray. Same with now we have, since the last time we talked, a lot more people are using AI and chat GPT and Claude and that's a whole other conversation because those platforms are built to affirm you. So if you're kind of an input equals output. So if you're asking, chat GPT, all these questions, and it's only going off of what you're asking and that information, it's not going to be helpful.
Right.
And social media, if your algorithm is following people that have what you want, but sometimes you can't tell because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors too.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of tune in with yourself. Like someone was helping me with my social media and she's like, okay, let's look at your algorithm. Like we're going to have to change it and make sure. And so I sent her a screenshot and she's like, oh, that was what it is without changing it. And it was like relationships and like business and health and wellness and And like, so what I look at is authentic to me. Right. So that means that
that's good.
My algorithm's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
But you can get led astray really easily if you're like, how to get the girl, do these 5 things or whatever. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up a good point. So let's talk about some first date strategies. We toyed with some ideas, but let's dive in a little bit. Okay. So activity dates. Right. We all hear like, go hiking or, do you feel like that builds more chemistry or Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I guess you could go either way.
Instead of going to dinner, you go hiking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
You're
sitting
doing an
across from
activity.
someone at a
Right,
table,
right.
and
Yeah.
you're talking about things. There's
Right.
a component of that that's substantial because you're
Right.
getting to know someone.
Sure.
Mhm.
Can you get to know someone in the same manner by hiking and you're walking behind the person and you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
breathing heavy? You're seeing
Yeah.
like the worst of that person.
Yeah.
in
It's
some
a great
instances.
point, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. And I
Yeah.
think men and women are probably going to have different answers here. And maybe even women and women will have different answers. But for me, if we're talking about online,
Yeah.
first date should just be like coffee, honestly,
Okay.
because you want to just see before. And if you have fun, maybe then you go to dinner. You can always extend it.
Right.
Right.
Right. That's a
But
good point. Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck with someone having a whole meal if it's not a vibe.
Yeah.
You know? And so there's that. And you want to kind of take your time. And as far as activity dates, for me, I never wanted to go on activity dates, especially not the first few dates, because I just don't feel comfortable.
Right.
Like, I
right.
feel like it's really vulnerable to go and do an activity with someone. And then for women too, you have to think about, like, we need to feel safe.
Safe. I was going to say safety,
So-
right? Hiking may not be the place.
Yeah,
you wanna
like
go
going hiking
independent, Yeah.
with some guy on a mountain, like
Right.
where you don't know him, and
True.
like
Yeah.
it's just not. So we
Yeah.
have to think about our safety. Like,
But maybe going to a Dodger game or a basketball or something like
Yeah.
that.
Maybe,
if
but
they're
you're
a
still
baseball
stuck.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
like, so on a first date, I would say no.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say, and I get it though, because I've talked to lots of men about this, where
Yeah.
one of my friend Andrew, he's like, I don't like sitting across the table like adversarial.
Yeah.
It's like
Right,
kind of funny.
right.
So I get that. And
Yeah.
this is where it's like, do you like,
Yeah.
do what feels good for you,
Yeah.
but you have to think about the fact that women, we don't feel safe most of the time.
Right.
Like we really don't.
That's
and-
fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made me feel the safest is like, let's meet and have tea or coffee for an hour.
Right.
And also, it also prevents that getting swept up thing
Right.
where,
right.
if there's
True.
attraction, then you get swept up, then you're on like
Yeah.
a 6-7 hour date and now you're all connected. And it's like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to chill.
Yeah.
But then eventually, activity dates for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and some people might say, no, I'd love an activity date, right? So if you're a guy who likes activity dates, throw out an activity date and you'll see if like the girl wants to do it. And then you'll see if you guys are aligned in that way. Cause I would say no. I would say I can't do it. It's already nerve-wracking enough because
Yeah.
you're hanging out with a stranger.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Makes
that's
sense,
what you're
yeah.
doing.
Okay.
So
So
crawl, walk, run. Right?
so no
Don't do it right
bouncy
away.
house.
Yeah.
date.
bouncy house is fun though.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, she would have
now you
gone
can
on that
start
one.
off. Okay, here we go.
If that's the
Oh, well.
activity, maybe I
There
make an
you go.
exception.
Bouncy house. Yes.
Yeah, that's yes.
Bouncy
Mechanical
house in a
bull,
public
no.
place with other people around.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what about some nonverbal cues men should be looking for to see if a woman is actually enjoying herself on the date?
That's good. Yeah. Does she seem like, well, I was going to say, does she seem relaxed? But I feel like dates just inherently aren't always
that's tough.
relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
If
to
she's
analyze.
dialing 911, it's not good. Right?
Oh my
If she went to the
God.
bathroom and didn't come back,
Didn't
probably
come
didn't
back.
go well.
Yeah.
You may
Right.
want to know.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, Tony used to make me text him in the middle of the date,
Yeah.
an emergency or
Smart.
something. You know?
Smart. Yeah, you gotta
Right.
have an out. Well, that's the other thing.
My
is like,
water heater broke.
In 30 minutes.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes, text
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say like watch her body language.
Yeah.
You know, how's the conversation flowing? Is she laughing? You know, and you can create openings, right? So, and see how, like, let's say you go to coffee and then it's fun. You could say, oh, do you want to grab dinner? Like
Right,
yeah.
create an opening and see if she takes the opening.
Right. Right.
And if she does, and if she doesn't, it doesn't necessarily mean anything because like, if you're like me, I had to slow down. Like I had to chill out, you know? So I might go on a coffee date and then I have to chill and like wait a few days before I see you again, just for
Sure.
myself.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I'm not interested.
Right.
So
right.
That's a good, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
And
Yeah.
and then so moving on, the date wasn't great, right? What's the easiest, classiest way a man could, end it without
Not ghosting.
Yeah.
So you went on a date.
No romantic connection. I've been there.
No romantic.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
Don't
end
ask
it?
her out again.
Yeah.
Don't ask her again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So I
messed
guess your
up.
question is, do you have to end it, right? Or because if you went out on one date and you just don't ask her out again, isn't that the end?
Well, because no, the reason why
Yeah.
I'm stammering with this is because like I've been on those dates where like maybe you can tell like, okay, maybe she's into me, right, and then you have to end the date. So I've always gotten caught into that trap of saying, okay, yeah, we should do this again.
Yeah,
I think there was a movie out there where
yes.
There's something like that.
I think it was Friends. I think
it
was Friends.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny. It's
that
like Chandler.
Funny,
Chandler,
right,
like at the end of every date, you're like, okay, you're gonna go on the date, you're gonna tell her that like we're not gonna see, and every single time he'd be like, we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's
that
real.
Plenty of time.
It's tough.
It's
tough. You know, I mean, this is what I do with this stuff. And this, I get asked this question all the time because nobody knows what to do in this situation. But think about like, how would you like to be treated? Right. And personally, I would rather just like, if I went on a date with someone and they're not interested, I'd rather just finish out the date. It'd be better if he doesn't say, you know, we should do this again sometime, but just kind of finish it out. Yeah. And then like, I see if I hear from him, and if I don't, I don't. And then I know that he's not interested, because it's also really delicate. It's like, you don't want to, like
somebody's feelings.
Yeah. Like you only went on one date and you're like, you know what? I don't think this is a match for me. It's like, it's just not, to me, it's not the kindest, but you know, again, be true to yourself.
There has to be parting words though at the end of the date. So
so like, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Had a nice time.
Right. And then what if one of them say, well, are you going to call me again? Or,
that's
I mean, it's, you know,
that's happened.
That is,
then you might get stuck in the,
moving to Japan next week.
Well, I will say this, the worst, and I understand why, like Jess, you were saying earlier, like have a couple messages and then go out.
Yeah. Tony, what you said, it's like, this is why we don't want to build connection. Like we want to build connection in person.
Right. Oh yeah. I was talking about the texting. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause then you develop this, like this connection, but it's not really real because it's only through texting. And what we do in that case is we project all of our idealized qualities onto the person.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens? It doesn't live up to that because it's just, it can't just by the nature of it. So that's why it's like, you want to meet as soon as possible. And yes, sometimes like in my current relationship, he was not going to be in LA for a couple of weeks. So we were talking and I was acutely aware of this because I'm like, I don't want to go into this fantasy land where I think this. So we would have these conversations. We talked on FaceTime and one of the days we talked like too long in my opinion. And I was like, we got to pull back. Like, you know, let me know when you're here and we can revisit because I didn't want to get into that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
it's real.
What I was leading up to was I've been in that situation where you're texting nonstop and you go on a date, and there's no connection.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, like red line.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And your time is valuable, right? So it's like, we just have to be in reality. And so much of our society promotes fantasy, like big time, where we're like, oh, we get swept up and this is our person. And it's like, we do not know this person.
Right.
We don't know them. Yeah. So can we take our time? Can we get to know them in person, build connection in person? And then, you know, and the thing that's hard is like putting yourself out there is really brave, and you might get hurt or the other person might get hurt. And it's kind of the nature of the beast, you know? Right. It's just like, and if we don't put ourselves out there, then we just are hurt in general by not having any connection.
No connections,
So it's
I think you definitely have to have a good balance of being emotional, but also having a tough skin. Because if you don't have a tough skin, you're never going to survive. In dating.
True.
Rejection is just part of it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also don't take it personally, which is so easy to say.
Yeah.
But like people, you know, if they swipe you left or like, you don't know what's going on with anyone, right?
True. Yeah.
So kind of trying to trust the flow of the universe, and like, if something's meant for you, like it's going to happen and it's going to flow. And if it's not, it's not. And we can't see around the corner to see why,
Right.
But it's like, like I have a client right now and he's like, oh, the apps are so hard. Like I feel so rejected, da, da, da. And I'm like, but the people they don't even know you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you're being rejected by people that don't know you. Who cares, right?
yeah, they don't know you. And it's like, it's just the nature of the dating apps in general. Like, cause I screen, I'm a good screener and like, and I can just tell right away with people and people, they'd be like, what do you mean? I don't understand. I'm like, I can just tell it's not a fit. And they're like, why? But why? I'm like,
Well, the physical side of it's, I think, a lot harder.
Yeah.
Than if someone says, well, I don't like you. You're hot.
Yeah. Like
you're a 10, but your personality is not great. That's a lot easier to live with.
Yeah.
As a man, I think for anybody, but the swiping thing, if you're swiping me, it's because you probably don't, like the way I look in a sense, right?
What, they didn't like your bio?
True.
Yeah.
And touche.
Yeah. I got you. All right.
Yeah. I mean, and also things don't translate from, what is it? Like a picture's 2D, like 2D into the reality, like the 3D reality is different. So there's been times where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm really going to be attracted to this person. And then I'll meet them in person and like their personality and their energy, and then they're way cuter in person. So, that can happen too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, this has been an amazing conversation again, Jess.
As usual,
yeah.
So great. So fun.
There's so much information we haven't touched upon, but we're gonna close out. But before we do, I do want to give you I'm going to give you a scenario. We're going to do like a rapid fire round.
Oh boy.
Great.
I'm going to give you a scenario. I need like a 2-3 word answer on what to do. Okay?
Yeah.
First one, the bill.
You pay.
Okay. Damn it.
Wait, and with the bill? Oh, it's rapid fire. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, you can say. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to hear this.
Say, with the bill,
yeah,
the smoothest thing to do is just not even give her the option.
Right.
So
hand
like
the card to the waiter before they even bring
yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Or take the billfold or grab it.
Oh, of course.
Grab it and pull it over to you and keep talking to her.
Yep.
Or what's even better is go to the bathroom, find your server, give her the card, come back and she'd be like, what happened? Like, oh, that's
how come you don't do that for me?
Actually, I had done that.
You actually have done that. Okay, sorry.
Rob and I fight over the bill all the time. So we have to find
we're trying to be more masculine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Number 2, first date kiss.
I would say generally no.
No. Okay. Ghosting. I think this is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
No ghosting.
No ghosting.
Yeah.
Calling versus texting.
Text briefly, then call.
Okay. Oh, well, let me throw something in there. Things didn't work out, but you want to be a gentleman. You want to, I guess, break up or, cease operations. What's better, a text or a call? Or I guess a call is better, but do you recommend a nice, thoughtful text?
Yeah, I think it depends how far into it you are.
True.
That's
like if you've gone on a date, I mean, again, going back to like, you want to just be gentle with people in general, right? So maybe they're like, if you don't ask them out again and it just kind of falls off, I feel like that's a little bit more gentle than being like, but you could also just say like, hey, it was great hanging out. Like, I'm not really feeling a romantic connection. Like that's what I would say to people. Yeah. Like if I went out with someone and they would want to do it again and I didn't want to, I would just say that.
Yeah.
But but it depends how far in you are. Like if you've been dating for a little bit, then you have to call or you need to have a conversation in person. Yeah,
totally makes sense.
Yep.
Well, look, again, this has been great, Jess. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you. So fun.
I mean, guys, you really got to do the work here.
Yeah.
I'm living proof because I can, the stories that I've shared are true and real. And you could be successful. You just have to, kind of embrace some things that maybe will take you out of your comfort zone.
Without doubt.
But
some great advice today. Too, so thank you.
Go see Jess, jesshendrick.com, www.jesshendrick.com. Your IG is now Coach Jess Hendrick. Is that right?
That's my old one. So the new one's Jess Hendrick Coaching.
Oh, Jess Hendrick Coaching. And Instagram.
You can shoot me a DM. Let me know that you heard me on this podcast. And and we can chat. Let me know if you have any questions. And then there's also an option to just book a connection call with me for 15 minutes on my website, on my Instagram. So if this resonated and you want to go a little deeper, I'm here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then Facebook, cool. Jess Hendricks. But if you just Google Jess Hendricks, you'll find.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. I'm on YouTube too.
Yeah. Well, go do this, guys, and go watch some of her reels, because I think you'll. I wanted to look at one or two. I was there for 30 minutes.
That's a good sign for me.
Yeah, that's really good sign.
But thanks again, Jess. We'll
thank you.
We've got enough material. I want to definitely have you back on and
amazing
talk about some other stuff. So you're so well rounded. I think you had a lot to offer to help guys out, us men.
Yes.
Thank you.
We need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Thank you for just being a voice and a support for men, because so many men need it. And that's really, your ripple effect will be huge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thank you so much. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to drop your questions or experience in the comments below. Special thanks to RCJ Productions, Keith and Lindsay, our producers. You can reach those guys at rcjproduction.com. To find us, our YouTube channel is at the Ycast, Facebook Project Y, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok Project Y Now. Thanks again, guys. Check out our socials for our next show, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.